Despite all of Mbalula's plan to destroy the country's economy, in hiding, Jacinta Ngobese always exposes him. How will you tell the South African citizens that you don't know why Jacinta Ngobese is fighting for South African citizens against other blacks? Is there supposed to be a reason when she is a proud South African who loves her fellow South Africans and wants the best for them? Jacinta response, very good that it left Mbalula speechless and in tears. If you love Jacinta Ngobese, fight for South Africa, comment Jacinta March. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep your notification bell on.
His people have owned up to this membership. His Secretary General have called me and the President by name in defense of illegal activities. They have not stood up for principle. I've listened to people very well. I've listened to the King. The King is very responsible. It's very clear, the King, let government address immigration, but don't do this and that. Jacob Zuma is an elder in this country. He was a president. South Africans are failing to hold him accountable for things that he does and which happened under his watch. And he knows the difficulties of immigration that we're dealing with. And today, he's joining the fray, not responsibly, irresponsibly, as an elderly person, statesman, a man who was a president in this country. Stand up on platform and fuel violence. Baba, back! Get that here. I'm my babo. How can a person who was a leader, not so long, call for violence in the country? Does he know what will happen here? Who wants this violence that is being purported? These people don't know what they are talking about. He is supporting them for political reasons because he wants votes. There are many ways to win votes. He won votes. People followed him. He crippled the ANC, big numbers in Gauteng and KZN. He didn't do that by violence. Why will you encourage ordinary South Africans to fight other Africans who are illegal in your country? What is that going to end with? All of us, we should be looking at the state to increase its capacity to deal with this phenomenon. No, Jacob Zuma have endorsed much and much. And he have actually gone extreme and said that Maband. His people have owned up to this membership. His Secretary General have called me and the President by name in defense of illegal activities. They have not stood up for principle. I've listened to people very well. I've listened to the King. The King is very responsible. It's very clear, the King, let government address immigration, but don't do this and that. Jacob Zuma is an elder in this country. He was a president. South Africans are failing to hold him accountable for things that he does and which happened under his watch. And he knows the difficulties of immigration that we're dealing with. And today, he's joining the fray, not responsibly, irresponsibly, as an elderly person, statesman, a man who was a president in this country. Stand up on platform and fuel violence. Baba, back! Get 30 years. I'm my babo. How can a person who was a leader, not so long, call for violence in the country? Does he know what will happen here? Who wants this violence that is being purported here? These people don't know what they are talking about. He is supporting them for political reasons because he wants votes. There are many ways to win votes. He won votes. People followed him. He crippled the ANC, big numbers in Gauteng and KZN. He didn't do that by violence. Why will you encourage ordinary South Africans to fight other Africans who are illegal in your country? What is that going to end with? All of us, we should be looking at the state to increase its capacity to deal with this phenomenon. That's what is important. Are the issues that have been raised about illegal immigrants in our country not genuine, not real? They are real, they are truthful. We live amongst our people. I was giving you examples here. These things you know them yourselves. I'm not talking about stuff that I don't know. And then Samkele asked, don't we think the ANC has failed South Africans in relation to this particular matter of illegal immigration and all of that? Failure will be the simplest way of saying ANC government has actually failed. But the fact of the matter is that the matter is more complex than that. It's more complex than that, and therefore it needs to be attended to.
Mbalula is trying to stare away the minds of South African away from the real problem by blaming Jacinta Ngobese and Jacob Zuma, saying they are intentionally doing this to make the present government look bad. This is becoming annoying. How will you be in the present government system and the government is not performing well, not caring about the life, health and upkeep of its citizens, and you don't want anybody to speak up and tell you that your government has failed? Why blame others for your failure? Mbalula, go back and work to make things right. Jacinta, the March and March movement has come to put an end to this failed system of the ANC government. In the next clip, Jacinta replies Mbalula, and this left him in tears.
Spending more and more money on foreigners, and really, we'd like to know how much is the government spending on addressing this issue of foreign nationals, from our prisons to our schools to the nutrition they're spending on giving them, to the SASA grants that they're getting to the hospital. Everything. We want to know how much the government is spending on foreign nationals in this country. And lastly, we are calling on the South African Police Service that on the 30th of June, since you will have unlimited resources, all the police are not working, please use that as a day to go house to house and arrest illegal immigrants.
Yes.
Because the march is not going to go on the whole day. You're going to be paid for the whole day. So when the march is finished, use it as a day to go house to house and remove illegal immigrants from our communities, because we don't feel safe. And this is a call that all South Africans are making, that 600 million, we must see it going to work on the 30th. Go and remove illegal immigrants from their homes. Go and verify the documents from them. Don't meet them and tell them what their rights are. Go and tell them what laws they've broken and arrest them. That's the job of SAPS.
Contributes approximately 900 billion into the GDP of this country. This contribution is now shrinking due to the hijacking of our economy. The number of drug addicts has skyrocketed over the past few years, and the government has done nothing to turn around the situation. Even those famous NGOs that are now rushing to save the refugees are nowhere to be seen when it's time to help South Africans who are destitute and in need. We want to thank South Africans for chasing their country, for protecting their country. We have seen them rising from each and every corner, taking to the streets and on social media, fighting for their country every single day. And we call upon every single South African who's passionate and loves their country not to stop fighting until the end, because in the end, we will win, and very soon. We call upon professionals, churches, influencers, progressive politicians, traditional leaders, and every single South African to rise and take to the streets to clean our towns, save our children, and not rest until the end, until we win. We have a few demands that we have listed that we would like to put to our government. We call upon the government to stop granting and processing the processing of all refugee applications within 14 days until the state has come up with an interim solution pending the process currently underway in respect of the white paper. Because currently there's no need for them to keep handing out refugee statuses when they know that their house is not in order. We call for the immediate and massive deportation of all illegal immigrants currently living in the country. And if they can force them to pay for their way back home, it'll ensure that they don't keep coming back. We call for the amendment of the law to enable the BMA to operate inland, because for us it makes no sense to say that the people that are allowing the people to come in and know how long they should be staying in the country are not allowed to come into the country and take them out when their time has expired. We demand for the transfer of all immigration officers to BMA and for this to be legislated. And of course, for the increase in the number of immigration officers in the country, because 800 really is a ridiculous number. We call for the urgent transfer of all border police to BMA, because currently what is happening, SAPS and BMA and SANDF are not working together at the borders to make sure that they are able to stop people from coming into the country due to who is calling the shots at the border at the time. So it's better to just have BMA be the ones that have their own resources and their own personnel working at the borders.